Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be discussing the main issues on Anime Vanguards and the possible issues that are killing the game or that might kill the game in the future. Before we continue, I'd just like to mention that this video isn't directing any hate towards the game. I in fact still actively play the game, love the game, but regardless, I feel like there are a lot of issues that the game still has that I don't see being resolved anytime soon. Before we begin, I'd just like to mention that I'm going to be giving away a Game Pass at the start of every video, kind of like this. So if you want to be the first just to see, just subscribe and turn on post notifications, and you'll be notified whenever I upload, so you'll be the first to see this. This helps out the channel a lot, and yeah. I'd also like to mention that we're actively doing Game Pass giveaways almost daily in our Discord, so check that out below by clicking the link in the description. There's also a Battle Pass giveaway going on right now. Anyway, let's just begin to the main issues in Anime Vanguards and what they're currently facing. I think this can be broken down into three main things, which is difficulty, progression, and cheats. Starting off with difficulty, everything in the game is really easy to do. Like, you don't need much. As long as you join the game, you redeem some codes, grab something, grab the like and group reward, you can pretty much start off by completing the entire story. As long as you know, like, you need to get Tengen, Sung Jin Woo, Chahae-in, units like that. All you really need to do is just get those and finish the story, do some legend stages until you evolve them, and you're pretty much good to go. And even when it comes to this, you don't actually play any of the stages. Like, what you'll do is you'll just macro them. Like, there's a macro for everything with Tiny Task. You don't even have to download anything. Look, I've completed this 304 times. Again, this is not a lot. Like, there's players out there who will spend a lot longer macroing. Let's just see for Egress. Let's see, legend stages here. Act 3, 280 times. I think I got him like twice from here. Just out of 280, I was very unlucky. But again, it's just something I macroed. Again, macro. You literally don't have to play anything in the game, and you can argue, wait, this is your own choice, you're choosing to macro. But then again, a lot of players don't want to play a game where someone else is macroing it. Why would I just waste my time playing it? Like, there's no real benefit. And if you watch my streams or anything like that, I will still play the game even though I can macro it. The Rengoku, I played with friends. Even then, it's not entertaining or fun if you're just playing a game that someone else is macroing. Like, it's just boring to do so, and I think a lot of other players would agree. It's just a very boring aspect that you can just set up a macro and boom, you're not really doing anything else. So I think the difficulty is a main issue. I feel like they've tried to implement things like in the Paragon where you got to select things, sort of like similar to Anime Adventure's Halloween event. But I just feel like what they need to do is begin adding in events where you need a team of like at least 3, 4, 5 people, similar to Anime Adventures, like the Halloween events or the raids. You needed a team of uniques. You needed a team of high-level players to sort of get through that. And everything is sort of just RNG based. Like Alucard, you just gotta macro gems until you can roll for him. Rengoku, just macro until you get him. Egress is macro until you get him. And these are all the meta units. All you have to do to get these meta units is macro. I feel like if they want to implement something where people enjoy playing more, it's removing the macros. Like, not removing macros completely. I completely agree that macros make the game easier and better. I used to macro in Anime Adventures all the time. Like the Infinity Castle macro, again, that's something that I would rather not spend my time doing like a 5-minute wait. Paragon macros, I completely understand and I get that, but my main issue here is that if you want any of the meta units, you just have to macro. That's it. It's not a mix of anything. Like the raids in Anime Adventures, you had to do yourself. There were some daily ones that you had to do. There was some things limiting you from using just macros. You had to try and do other things. And not to mention, Anime Adventures was just more fun in terms of sort of, I feel like it's overall satisfaction that a player will like feel, unlike somebody who can just, I don't know, macro the entire game. If a new player comes and they're actually leveling up and they're doing everything themselves, they won't feel that satisfaction considering someone else has macroed everything. I think a really big issue is just the lack of difficulty and just how easy it is to macro everything. I feel like macro should be allowed and should be done for most things, but certain aspects of the game, actually no, not even most things, I think just a lot of the aspects of the game should just be without macros. Like, they should implement stuff that sort of stray away from macros and make it harder to macro stuff. I think the next thing is also progression. Even just progression, like the late game. As soon as you get a decent team, you just simply macro. There's no sort of special things that you need to do to sort of to like unlock new units, new events, nothing like that. And I do get that the game is very early on. It's just that what we kind of see this game being is very, very different compared to the other anime tower defense games out right now, which really focus on just sort of grinding, macroing, getting some 0.001%, you know, using codes to get hundreds of rerolls. This game strays away from that. It lets you earn your own rerolls through a number of means. You sort of have to wait for events. So similar to Anime Adventures. Anime Adventures did give you a very few amount of trait rerolls, but obviously this game gives a lot more, and they're a lot more giving, and you know, everything is a lot easier to obtain, so you don't have to like wait. So you don't have to like worry about having to spend money or anything similar to that. So I feel like the game's progression is sort of a lot different to other tower defense games. I just feel like it's just really, really fast paced. Like it's really easy to like just reach the max level of progression. And if you want to progress, you just kind of, I would argue you do need to just macro, because it's just like, cool, let's say I unlock Tengen now. I'm brand new, I get Tengen, I complete the story. I just need to now complete some challenges or legend stages for hours until I get enough evolution materials to evolve him. Like, I don't mind having to spend so much time. It's just I have to macro or just do something by hand that I could just macro. It's just nothing new. There's nothing new in the game coming yet. My next issue would just be the cheats in the game. The game has a lot of cheats, and although you can't really see them that well, if you open up TikTok, or if you've been on TikTok at all, just scrolling through TikTok, you'll see people with like 350,000 gem selling accounts, stuff like that. It is pretty much just done with cheats and exploits. What they'll do is they'll just they'll spam do the first Paragon mission, and what they'll do is they'll set the first, not Paragon mission, they'll just basically, what they'll do is similar to the macro I made, they'll do Act 1 over and over again, but what they'll do is they'll use like a remote desktop where they basically, it won't affect their PC. It will be running in the background. They don't have to touch anything at all. Even with the exploit, they don't even need to run a remote desktop. They just let that run in the background, and they can do whatever they want on their PC. It's just like they're macroing without having to do anything. It's just really, really weird, because we know what this is going to lead to. This is just going to lead to Igris, Rengoku, and Alucard either being completely worthless, even though in theory I've spent over 300,000 gems. I have not gotten an Alucard. I know I'm very unlucky, but in terms of grinding, that takes a lot of time just to grind up 300,000. People will just exploit now and ruin the economy just through that. So if I get Alucard now, it'll be completely worthless in the near future if trading is ever added in with Alucard and Igris. So I feel like cheating is a really, really big way. And because a lot of these units can just be cheated for, like obviously just the gems for Alucard and the Igris macro and the Rengoku macro, it's taking away from the player driven economy in the future as well. So I just feel like that's another major issue that's sort of going to be affecting Anime Vanguards in the future. And honestly, these are just some issues that I'm seeing right now, so obviously they will find ways to counter and sort of change things and resolve issues that are coming up. So I do wonder how they'll find a way at sort of countering the Alucard farms and the Igris and the Rengoku cheats that are currently going on at the moment, and see what they can do. That's pretty much it for this video. This was just me talking a whole lot and just seeing some of the issues that arose. If you found this video entertaining or helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.